Welcome back to Ultimate S&S, guys. So I'm going to discuss a few things, and then we're going to get to our show. But one of the things I want to talk about here in the garden is I am doing cantaloupes. First time I've done cantaloupes, and I've noticed that we've been having some pollination issues. So what I started doing is a little research to find out what our male and female flowers look like on this plant, and started doing some hand pollination about 4 days ago. So let's see what we've got here. All right, so I have some cantaloupe over here. I wanted this to trellis up a little bit. Just helps keep them off the ground so they ripen up nicer. Then we have a small one coming in here, another one coming in here, and that's what we've got going on, guys. So if you want to look and see what the difference between a male and a female is on this, you're going to look at your flower base. So as you can see on this flower here, there is no fruit behind it, so that would be a male flower. It's already closed up. Then you would want to pollinate that with a female flower. See on the bottom here, that fruit, that little ball, that would be a cantaloupe if it's actually pollinated. And that's what you want to do, is just take your male flower, pollinate your females, and give it a few days and they should swell up. As they start to swell up, then you know that you've successfully pollinated, guys. So another thing we've also taken care of, we planted out some of the golden zucchini and some of our new style tomatoes and things like that. And I went ahead and put in a few more cantaloupe plants right now because it seems like it's kind of a shortage at the stores right now. People have been kind of listening around the area and they're looking for cantaloupe, so might be a good way to sell some stuff. So we have this going. It's our new row. These are the golden zucchini plants. I just planted 3 of them so they'll bush out here, kind of how these did. Then we have our tomato seeds that have been planted in there, and then we have some cantaloupe seeds down through there as well. So I'm gonna walk over here and check out our tomato plants, see how we're coming along. They should be getting ready to start giving us some tomatoes. Yeah, so we're starting to ripen up pretty good in here. I mean, we've just got tomatoes everywhere, but it'll be nice to finally start getting some. Our corn's getting pretty close. We pulled a test cob the other day and it looked like it was decent. It wasn't a very large corn, but when you check these, you want to watch your silk when it turns brown and pretty much starts to fall off like this piece over here. You want to fill this cob. When it's swollen and you don't fill any spaces on that husk, then you know that corn's ready. From what the one I pulled yesterday, it's looking like we probably got a couple, maybe a week and a half before this stuff will be ready out here. A successful part to any garden, guys, you want to make sure that you're able to get seeds and things. So what we see here is we have a lot of flowering. This is a radish, and you can see we got a lot of flowers. We're going to have quite a few seeds on here as they start to ripen in, and we're going to take them, we're going to keep those seeds to plant for next year. And then again, we're doing the same thing with this lettuce plant. You see how it's bolted, it's just grown real tall. It has flowered out. That's going to create more seeds, so we'll be able to plant some more lettuce in later. So as you can see, I've lost about probably 12-15 years off the face, shaving the beard. Probably lost a little bit of weight with it too, but you know, it was getting hot, so I decided it was time to shave it off and cut my hair back and all that kind of stuff. I was going to grow it out, but I tell you, when it's pushing 100 degrees, you're out here hoeing around in the garden, you don't want all that extra hair. There's probably 3 or 4 pounds of hair on my face, so we got that off. But the reason we keep gardens out here, guys, is pretty simple, and we're going to talk about that just while we kind of show some clips. With the prices of everything going up at the stores, I love fresh vegetables, I love fruits and stuff like that. And one of the things that gets me is the disconnect that we seem to have in society today, where we tend to think our food is just created in some kind of manufacturing place or something. People don't realize it takes a while to put a seed in the ground to get these plants up where they're producing. And once they're producing, man, you talk about really great, really flavorful food compared to what you're getting in the store, mainly because it is fresh. It is not that real old stuff that you're getting in that's been picked over by everybody. So we're going to let this one get probably another 3 or 4 inches long. But we got a lot of squash, a lot of zucchini. We've got quite a bit of corn starting to come in. This stuff here didn't get very large. I don't expect very large corn cobs. The reason why was a lot of nutrients on that side of the garden, guys. And it's just one of them things, man. It's just one of those things where you do what you can with what you have to work for, or work with, I should say. We got quite a bit of quail manure, but the thing is you got to realize that this is a very large in the garden here that I'm keeping up. We're going to bring a bunch of chicken manure up here, starting to get composted in. We're going to till that into the ground. And then by this fall, hopefully after the storm season, we should have enough time to be able to get some lettuce in the ground and some things like that, because it doesn't really take long for that stuff to start producing. We do have a lot of our okra plants. For those who are not familiar with okra, this is an okra bud, and that will turn into an okra pod. And one of the things that love okra are ants. And I just seen a huge hornet. Yeah, when you're allergic to bees, you got to keep an eye out for that stuff, man. So this, I'm gonna have to come out and do some trimming, guys. But this is about the size of what I like my okra to get. And the reason for that is just a little more tender than when it gets real long. It's gonna make it eat a lot easier. So our tomato plants in the back, they are getting where they're getting older now. They're just about done producing, it looks like. But if you don't have food stockpiled and you don't have the funds, I would recommend that you get you a garden in, because one, it's going to provide food that you can eat right now. It's also going to give you the opportunity to save some money, so you can start buying food that's already been, processed, canned, however you want to look at it, as long as you have something that's going to give you a little bit more options there. If you are not doing that, here in about another month, it's going to be very hard for you to afford anything for your families. The larger the family, the higher the grocery bill goes up. Y'all know how it works, guys. Inflation as well is going to come up, but not just inflation, supply and demand. When you come up and there is absolutely no food really as far as the selection to choose from, they'll have stuff on the shelves, but it's not going to be actual food. That's one of the things that they're coming up with, is this lab grown meat and all this stuff. And I'm seeing more and more of that stuff. They have some kind of new baby formula because of the formula shortage that's out there. And one of the things that they're making this new formula with is some kind of excrement or excretions or something like that from different types of bugs. And they're going to give that to babies and stuff. Now understand, if it's something that can be done, then yes, okay, if that's all you can afford. But understand, this is coming out from the left. They want people eating bugs. They don't want people eating actual food. They have a problem with people raising their own food. And these are the people that are in office. So expect that they're going to try to make it illegal to have gardens. They're going to try to make it illegal to actually be self-sufficient. But the great thing about it is we have a God-given right to self-sufficiency if that's what we choose. And it doesn't matter what they decide. We're going to do what we do. We're going to grow our own food here. We're going to stockpile supplies. We've been stockpiling. I kind of broke off of stockpiling food at the moment from the store, and we've been focusing more on like first aid stuff, medical type stuff, and things like that. Different types of books to study up on that as well. There's all kinds of resources out there. And then we're also taking and just stocking up on our pet supplies. So I have an English Bulldog. He can get on your nerves sometimes, but he's still a good dog. And basically, I'm just trying to make sure he's got enough food. He pretty much eats what we eat. Even now, he's spoiled. But we'll make sure he's got enough dog food. We'll make sure we got enough chicken food and quail food and things like that. If you decide to do chicken and quail, I'll give you a tip. Don't go out and buy just chicken feed or just game bird feed. Just buy one thing, which is game bird grower. It's going to work great for chickens that are young. I'm talking chicks. It's going to be the same protein that they require. As they reach the age for laying, it is still cheaper than buying the hen layers feed. That stuff is quite a bit pricier, but you can just give them the game bird feed. It's going to give them everything they nutritionally, except for the calcium. And you can supplement that calcium with crushed eggshells, crushed oyster shell. There's a lot of different things. If you're giving your birds a lot of greens, such as collards or kale and things like that, it has a pretty high calcium content as well. So that's really going to help you out with your flocks as well, guys. But I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Before we get off here, again, buy food now, Don't stop. Stockpile your supplies. If you got plenty of food, there's no reason to stop stockpiling stuff. If you got plenty of food, that's great. Maybe you have a lot of supplies and stuff. That's wonderful. Get you a garden going, because supplies, if you're not adding to them, they will run out. And if you're using your stuff as a rotating stock like we do here, you're going to run into a situation where it's going to get too costly to put that stuff back into it. So you need to make sure that you're producing your own food. And eventually, when the stores and stuff are requiring certain types of things inside your body in order to get in and buy anything, and understand that is happening right now, that's happening over in European countries, that is coming our way. Now, will we see it? If America lasts long enough, sure, we'll probably see it too. I don't imagine we're going to last that long, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now, when I say America, I'm not talking about the people of America, those of us who live by, our standard. We live by a constitutional standard. We're going to have our means to be able to continue to survive and live, and we will thrive. It will not be easy, but we will thrive. For those who are just waiting on the government for handouts, you're going to be in a really bad way, because when people stop paying in, there's not going to be anything to hand out. Understand that. So you need to get with the program. You need to understand that it is up to you to provide for you. It is up to you to provide for your family. Put your faith in the Lord. You need to get to action, though. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. We'll talk to you later.
Hey, hit that subscribe button. It's right there. Did they hit the subscribe button?